Hi everyone, Rachel Weaver here. I'm on faculty at Regis University's Mile High MFA program. I've been making a series of videos in which I explore lots of different options that those of us who have a background in writing can do in the working world. So today, Dan Pratt is here. He's going to talk to us about publishing. Thanks for being here, Dan. I appreciate your time.
Well, thank you. It's good to be here.
So tell us a little bit about your current job in publishing.
Okay. I am the production manager at the University Press of Colorado. We're a fairly small university press. We publish in archaeology and rhetoric and composition, some local history, and various other things. So as a production manager, I'm in charge of designing the covers. I review the typeset pages to make sure they look good. I work with the printers to make sure that they're getting the proper files and they're producing them correctly. And I handle reprints, that sort of thing. I enter in proofreaders' corrections and then have the editorial department review them to make sure I did everything right. So I kind of have my hands in almost everything that happens to the book after the editors get done with it.
Mm-hmm. And how did you get started? What was your path to this point?
I was a senior at CSU and I got an internship at the University Press. It was excuse me for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
It was an internship that split between the marketing department and the editorial department. So I worked there till the end of my school year, and then a job opened up right about it. Basically, it was my last day as an intern.
Perfect.
So I took that job and worked in the business office for about a year, filling in orders and dealing with the warehouse. And then I moved sideways sort of to another job opening in the editorial production department. And that was in 2000. And so I've been working in that department in some capacity or another ever since.
Mm-hmm. And do you think that's the most typical way that people find their way into publishing is through internships?
Honestly, I don't know. So this has been my only job out of college. So we do have a lot of interns. We have a lot of work study students, and some of them often go like they will freelance as indexers or editors. Once in a great while, there will be a spot, an opening right at the right time for them. But generally speaking, it seems like there's not a lot of turnover in publishing, and there's a lot of competition for the jobs that open up. So it may be difficult to get a leg up.
And what about, I don't know much about it, but of course I've heard of the Publishing Institute in Denver. That's, it's a certificate program. I think it's about a month long through the University of Denver. Do you think that's useful?
That we've had several interns that come from there. We had an acquisitions editor who came to us from the DPI, and she would bring in other folks that went through that program and seemed like that really prepared them for the work they were doing. So that kind of thing, I think, can be very useful. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then, do you have any advice for anybody who's interested in, in getting into publishing, sort of where to start, or any advice since you've been doing it for so long?
My advice, I guess, would be to maybe even look for smaller presses. I mean, bigger publishers are easier to spot, and so they're going to have more job openings. But a smaller press, you're less likely to be sort of pigeonholed into one very specific job. We have marketing interns who do editorial work, and we have an editorial intern who, for the last couple of months, has been working on sprucing up our database and then just adding a ton of data. So in a smaller press, there's more of an option to try out a bunch of different things simply because they usually don't have the staff to have somebody specifically for that. So I guess, look for a smaller press if you're not quite sure what you want to do in publishing, but we want to try out a whole bunch of different jobs, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Actually, now that you say that, there's this fantastic website that lists so many small presses. It's entropy.com. It's the small press database. I usually talk about it in terms of, helping people place books, but right. I'll add a link to the bottom of this video so that folks can find that, because that would be a good resource actually to look for jobs in publishing as
Yeah, for
well.
sure.
Obviously, it just sends you to all their websites, so it would be a place that folks could use for that reason too.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks, Dan. I appreciate your time,
Sure.
and thanks.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.